I always like to do one of these. You're here at Rotary Club.
I am.
And are you excited about that?
I'm always excited about that, Gary. All the time. Great place, great people. Food's great when I eat it. But no, happy to be here. Beautiful weather again.
All right, welcome everyone. Before we start with the pledge, we are trying something completely new today with all the video. It's a work in progress, so bear with us. We said it could be a huge failure, it could be a huge win, we don't know. So we've got multiple cameras going and we're trying to broadcast this with a couple people. You see Ellen and Danita are online. They're our guinea pigs for today, so we're giving it a whirl. So with that, Chuck, lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and Ed Raber was down for invocation, and I don't see him. Can I get a volunteer for invocation at all? Anybody on the fly?
I'll do it.
Joyce.
Impromptu.
Or Marianne, either one, impromptu?
There you go.
Marion's always got one of
Yes. Well, if you look right with me. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we are grateful today for many things, for the world and our sunshine and those around us, our friends, our members of government, our country's leaders, and we are grateful for scientists and the effort to find a cure for our plaguing COVID-19. We ask your oversight, your great power to help us be peaceful people with kind hearts, broad minds, and demonstrate love. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Joyce. Very nice. Thanks, Joyce, for stepping in. Very nice. Very nicely done.
Thank you.
Okay, so next, I've been wanting to recognize Danita's presidency for a while, schedule-wise and so forth. We've had a tough time getting everything to match up, but she's online, as you can see today. I dropped off her award to her yesterday, so I wanted to, on behalf of the club, and have all of you express our gratitude and thanks to Danita for all her work last year. It was a strange year for her to end, strange year for me to start, so we didn't have the normal transition that we would typically like to have where we recognize the past president. So if we could all give Danita a round of applause.
Well, thank you very much. It was a different year, that's for sure. It started off the first half of the year really well, and then the second half of the year was very different. I want to thank Tim for presenting me yesterday with this President's Award. It's just beautiful. I wish you all could really see what this looks like. I'll try and show it in the light here, but it's like a water drop, and it's a glass award with like kind of gold and copper and blue running through it. It's just gorgeous. So thank you very, very much. I was honored to serve as your president last year, and I hope I lived up to your expectations, or at least some of it. And I appreciate the opportunity. So thank you, everyone. It was a great year.
Thank you, Danita. All right. So Danita had passed along to me the 50 things about Rotary, and I wanted to continue some of that. Number 39 is interesting, Rotary in the United Nations. So during and after World War II, Rotarians became increasingly involved in promoting international understanding. In 1945, 49 Rotary members served in 29 delegations to the United Nations Charter Conference. Rotary still actively participates in UN conferences by sending observers to major meetings and promoting the United Nations in Rotary publications. Rotary International's relationship with the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, UNESCO, dates back to a 1943 London Rotary Conference that promoted international cultural and educational exchanges. Attended by ministers of education and observers from around the world, and chaired by a past president of Rotary International, the conference was an impetus to the establishment of UNESCO in 1946. So pretty cool. All right. ARC Advocates update. So we had to move the painting project from last weekend to this weekend because of all the rain, nonstop rain that last week. So hopefully things are dried out. The plan is this Saturday morning, again at 9 o'clock. So anybody who signed up, please join us. Anybody who hasn't signed up who wants to, let Kim know. And then I'll bring a few tools for hanging things, but is there anything else you need from anybody?
I don't think so. We'll have paint stuff.
And all the brushes and everything.
Yep.
Just paint the exterior,
What's that?
exterior and interior, or just the exterior.
Just exterior.
All right. 4 sides.
Yep, 4 sides. Yep, hang some things inside and we're good to go. All right, I don't think there's any updates yet on the Overlook project. If there is, Chuck, speak up. Oh, do you have one?
Yeah, the binoculars are to be delivered to the airport today.
Oh, great.
And the airport manager said they would install it.
Oh,
So
excellent.
I think we'll just maybe have to have a grand opening or something, an unveiling, ribbon cutting.
Excellent.
Yeah, so
Very
we'll
good.
let you know.
Okay, perfect. Thanks, Chuck.
Call the chamber and let's see if we can get the ambassadors out there for are the ambassadors still.
We haven't had any ribbon cuttings, and our first one now is scheduled in October. So I don't know if they'll do it in person or not. They can certainly ask.
Yeah, it's outdoors, so that might. I'd give the chamber a call.
We can check.
We'll get it installed first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, so hopefully this fall they'll get it installed when the weather's still good, then we can have a ribbon cutting and so forth. So, excellent. So we also, the board voted to move forward with the annual Dubuque Arboretum Cleanup Day. Sandy's here. October 24th, I'll let Sandy give more details on that.
So it is October 24th and the 31st, but I believe the 24th is when the Rotarians are going to be involved. I didn't bring my sheet today, but I will bring it to the next meeting and we'll do some sign up with that. Basically, you work for about 3 hours and a lot of it is raking and just kind of cleaning up, and any tasks that we have garden team leaders that show you what we want done with that. So then afterwards, we're going to have an outdoor lunch that's going to be served by people with gloves and masks, but it's homemade food that the volunteers make to appreciate the workers that are there. So it'll be a great Rotarian event, I think. It's a lot of fun. You can bring your family because you can spread out there, and we're going to have it, well, you know, the tasks are going to be where you're not close. But as a family, you can stay close, obviously, and work on the project together. I worked with my son, Andrew, in the hostas in the spring when we had cleanup. And, you know, we actually had a great time doing that together. So I hope that many of you will join out there and wear, should I bring the Rascal t-shirts? I think I'll do that.
Yeah, you
I'll
could.
bring all the Rascal t-shirts out so we can be identified as a Rotarian project.
There you go.
All right.
What
Great.
time, Sandy?
Oh, 9 to noon.
What day of the week is it?
It's a Saturday.
It's United Nations.
Saturday, 9 to noon.
It's what day?
United Nations Day.
That day is United Nations Day.
So, yeah, come and show up and show our Rotarian proud moment.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Sandy. All right, Paul, raffle.
Yes. We have, you want me to stay here, Gary?
Oh, no, you're fine.
We had some interesting items. The Lost Continent by Bill Bryson, very popular author. A lot of people are commenting about that. I have a DVD live Engelbert Humperdinck at the London Palladium. And the surprise basket.
From the Arboretum.
From the Arboretum?
Yeah.
And I'm going to have Susie do the drums.
She told me you got it, so.
Oh my God, she's good at it.
This one is John Luckstead.
Yay!
What would you like, John?
Surprise.
Surprise basket.
The surprise package. All right, we're taking it over to him already. All right.
Souvenir.
Here, yeah, while you're up.
What would you like? Engelbert? Last one is Scott Goins.
Right there! Let's see the book. Oh, isn't that lovely?
So there you go. Oh, and we raised $35.
Evening of love and your
Yes. It's going to be an exciting Friday night at the Goins Rally.
What's going to happen?
don't you?
Have a drink or two, celebrate.
All right, so Happy Dollars, community announcements. Any Happy Dollars, anyone today?
Charlie, you have one.
She's got another cat.
Charlie, tell them about our cat.
Oh, there you are.
We have a new kitten. Her name is Annabelle. She weighs about 5 ounces, and I don't want to tell you how many dollars per ounce we pay.
And what kind of a cat is she?
She's a rag doll.
And what is unique about a rag doll?
I don't know. I think they're supposed to go limp when you pick them up. So they're like a rag doll.
Is that true?
And they follow you around like a dog
Well,
when they get older.
when they get older, yeah.
Good job, Charlie.
Thank you. How much did that cost?
Not as much as
Not as much as the cat.
You're an excellent interviewer, Joey.
Very leading, very leading.
I was going to say, I love good relationships in action.
My dad always taught me to keep a $100 bill back, like he had one in the bib of his overalls. And so he gave my sister and myself a $100 bill and said, always keep one on you because hard times are coming. So anyway, I had $200 or $300 bills tucked back and some other little stashes around. But I came up just about $100 short, and I'd saved about $900. And I asked Charlie if he would like to own a 10th of that cat. And he said, I didn't need to know that.
But he did reach into his
What's that
overalls.
for about $200 an ounce?
He shelled out, so he's part owner.
Yeah. Cool.
I have one.
All right, here we are.
It's related. It's related to Joyce's story, actually Charlie's story. The Five Flags Center is back doing events again.
Yay!
So, we did First Stones. We had a comedy show last week, so a little singles and doubles. But we are announcing this Friday. And remember, this is related to Joyce's ragdoll cat. We are the second stop on this tour. It's brand new, so get ready for this. You're going to want to go. Tiger King Live, The Untold Stories. These are the people that aren't in jail or dead or on Dancing with the Stars are coming in November to talk about Tiger King and Joe and what really happened with the tigers on at the zoo. So first time out, it's going to be a good one. So I threw $5 in for that shameless plug. Tiger King Live, Uncaged, The Untold. Uncaged. Wow. I gotta get more response to that. Let's do that. Okay.
Tony.
Hey, Gary.
Yes. Oh, Tony, right over here. Tony.
Just put the camera on Scott's socks over there, and that's why I'm giving $1. That makes you smile right there.
Yes. There is another advantage to shooting video.
You're welcome.
All right, anyone else? All right. If not, then we'll turn it over to Scott to introduce our speaker. And Gary, you might want to just hit the mute the other phone. Mute the other phone.
This one?
Yeah.
This is
Got it? All right. In 2012, Susan Gorell attended the first annual Julian Dubuque International Film Festival as a producer representing her documentary, A Million Spokes, about RAGBRAI, which received the Best of Iowa Award at the festival that year. After experiencing the beauty and excitement of Dubuque, she decided to accept the position on the JDIF board in 2013, and in 2014 was hired as a senior manager. In 2015, Susan was promoted to executive director. Since her tenure, film watchers and filmmakers from all over the world have attended the festival and increased every year. In 2019, there were over 6,000 attendees for the 5-day event. Susan is the founder, president, and producer of the Oak Mill Entertainment. Her family has been in the entertainment business for a total of over 50 combined years, creating strong connections with industry businesses in film and music. She spent 15 years as a production PR manager for Heartbeat Distribution, a Christian music and DVD distribution company, and was production stage manager for the Unity Awards for 8 years. In 2016, Susan produced SuperCon, which stars such as John Malkovich, Clancy Brown, and Mike Epps. SuperCon was released by Sony Pictures Entertainment in April of 2018. Since then, Susan has produced multiple features and is set to produce 2 family films in 2021. In 2021, the Julian Dubuque International Film Festival will be celebrating 10 years, which Susan and the board of directors may have many wonderful things planned for the special celebration. Please welcome Susan.
First, I have to say I have never seen the Tiger King yet, so now you're sparking my interest. Thank you, Scott. I think I've spoken here a couple times, and I love coming in front of your group. You're a little smaller than normal, so I'm sad to see that, but I know we'll all be back to something normal sometime soon. As Scott mentioned, this is our 10th annual, coming up in 2021, Film Festival. I'm very excited that I've gotten to be part of this from nearly the beginning, and watching and being part of its growth, and I'm so thankful to the community that has helped in that process. They've been very supportive and attending and in sponsorships, donorship, everything to make this event what it is today, and that is just amazing. So I want to thank all of you, because we've also received some grants from you in the past, and I've been very thankful for everything you've in participation. So I wanted to let you know that as well. I put in front of you, for anybody here is anybody here not been to the film festival? Am I curious? Oh, okay. I'll still like you. First, I do know I have, I like to, one of my board members, which is HR. So I'm very lucky to have HR, and I'm very excited that Five Flag is coming back up. And I also I see 2 wonderful volunteers here, Marianne and John Donovan, that have done so much for the festival, and I'm very thankful for them. So if you ever want to be a volunteer for the festival, we need you. We love you, so please consider that as well. On your table, I did put a little information about the festival, just so for those of you who have not attended, you kind of know what we're about. And I think some people think, oh, it's just a giant party. But it's not. The arts are extremely important. What is the one thing during COVID that everybody did the most of? You watched movies, and I bet you ran out of content. So, or you refuse to watch the crud that's out there. Film festivals are the lifeline for these films that you see on Netflix or in the theaters. And that is where all these, especially independent filmmakers, start off. They travel around, they find the best film festivals. There's probably about 6,000 to 10,000 worldwide. And they choose where the best places are. They're going to represent their film, get the best crowd, and on the business side, be able to sell their movie. So my initial, when coming on board the festival, was, what do you want to be? Do you want to be just a local film festival that has a few days and just shows, a few films? You don't necessarily get a lot of quality films because you're not marketed big out there. Or do you want to really grow your festival to be a national, international brand? And part of that is offering a business structure and being able to help those filmmakers sell their movie and give them a great platform. By doing that, you're going to get great product. And it's also, what I thought was really important, it's an economic impact for your city. Filmmakers, film people in general, spend a lot of money, stupid money. They come in and they just buy. And I see it, like I said, we're in film industry and producing side, and they just spend a lot of money. And when your crew come in, or your filmmakers, they're loving your city. They're out eating and drinking and buying things. So to me, that was, let's build what we can with the festival to create that for your city. On top of that economic impact, your community is going to meet with people from all over the world. JDIF is probably one of the most diverse events in Dubuque, and it welcomes everyone and has everyone that comes here from all over the world. And I think that is a great opportunity for your community members as well, to sit and visit and meet these people and talk about what their film's about, why they came here, and learn more about them, and they learn more about you. So all that combined has created where we are at the festival now. One thing I learned about with COVID happening is that everybody watched movies, everybody went for that entertainment, and everybody needs that. But the one bad thing that happens now is, because we're in a pandemic, people think about science, medical, not that that's not important, but your arts event, no matter what it is, whether it's the festival, whether it's the symphony, whether it's Five Flags, your arts events are suffering. And they are just as important as the science, because arts is your mind and your body and your soul. You express a lot through film, whether you're watching it, maybe you get an argument with your family about it, but it's still expression. And as a filmmaker, they're expressing their feelings or what their interpretation of something is to share with you. Films come in all forms. They come in shorts, which we show a lot of shorts from anywhere from 3 minutes to 49 minutes in length. They come in documentaries and features. Feature films sometimes are based on true stories. So, for instance, we had a true story about from Australia a couple years ago of a young man that was falsely imprisoned, and he had just gotten out. He had an attorney that came and helped him, and that was put in a movie. I would have never known that, and now you learn about that, and it was very interesting. Those filmmakers came here and able to talk about that. So those experiences are what JDIF is about. So I ask you to just think about all arts and look at them in general, and they need and support your arts throughout your community, because they are very important. And Dubuque is really very blessed that you do support all your art events here. Not all cities are quite as supportive, and you guys are, and that's just not financial. I'm talking about in mind and being part of it and going to it, and that's really important. So keep that in everything that you do. So you can learn a little bit about the festival, and the information I sent you also, or I put on your tables, talks about kind of our, how many people we reach. In 2019, we had nearly 6,000 people attend the festival. A lot came from all over. We had a couple bus groups come from Des Moines. We had people from all over the world coming, Ireland, Brazil, Mexico. So they do come from all over to the festival. We have people traveling from New York, all over a lot of states in the U.S. So again, Dubuque is on that map. You're in a lot of articles and magazines, so you're getting a huge community outreach. We had 5 days in 2019. And then, of course, we were all planned for our 9th annual in 2020, and we know what happened there. And so we rescheduled it to June, and hoping that things would be opened up for in-person, and that didn't work out. So we went to a virtual film festival. Normally you cannot do virtual because filmmakers don't want their film out on a virtual platform like that. Again, the whole idea is to sell that movie, get that audience, get that feedback. You can't get the same from a virtual. But it worked for this year. I actually was very surprised. I was thinking, oh, we won't do very well. People aren't going to go to that. They're not going to watch it. And I was very surprised. They watched from a little bitty island. I wish I had that information. From a little country I never even heard of was watching it. They could go online. I don't know if anybody here got to participate in the virtual festival at all. Did you get to watch any of the films? It worked out really good, and it was nice, but nothing takes the place of an in-person physical festival. I mean, there's that interaction, but it worked. It's where we are at that time. So we are still pushing and hoping and praying that we will be doing our physical festival again. It'll be April 18th through 25th. This year, we've moved to 8 days, in order to show all the 2020 films that you didn't get to see and all the new 2021 films. So that means I'll be scheduling about 230 films that will show at the festival. Really, that'll be easy. So you now have 8 days to take off work, make it a vacation, start planning now so that you can come and spend 8 days at the festival. Stay down there. We have people that are local that are staying at Hotel Julian or Holiday Inn and enjoy it. Five Flags has been one of our core venues. They're amazing. Dubuque Museum of Art, we do a lot there. The Mississippi River Museum, we have screenings there, and we do it all kind of on Main Street other than like Mississippi River Museum or Crave Adventure Lab. We have free shuttles that take you everywhere if it's raining. Volunteers all over the place. You can also volunteer at the festival. And along with films, we have panels and conversation with special or VIPs that we bring in. So there's all kinds of things that are through that whole week. So I'm very excited about that. Like I said, it is our 10th annual, so we're going to plan some special events and celebration, planning on in the Promenade of Five Flags, kind of putting everything out from the last 10 years that we have, so you can see the progression and how much we've grown as well. So that's kind of about the festival. The other item that you have on your table is an article. There's a major magazine called Movie Maker Magazine. This is what all the filmmaker and the entertainment industry read this. They read about the festivals, they read about films, anything. It's kind of their gossip. And in that, which is what you have, and we had an article in the festival. We were deemed one of the top 50 film festivals out of thousands and thousands worth the submission fee. Meaning as a filmmaker decides who they're going to submit to, they go to that list and they're like, oh, they're in the top 50, so they'll usually get a lot more submissions. And then we had a nice article, and it's about the festival, about Dubuque, so I think there's enough for everybody if you want to take the materials home, you can. So I think, sorry if I'm talking fast, I'm just trying to get it all out. I'm Irish talk fast. Does anybody have any questions for me?
I have a question. I'm an independent film producer, and I'm working on a documentary called Dubuque Rotary Club, The Naked Truth.
Yes.
I know the title is provocative. I don't apologize for that. But it raises an interesting question, and that is, tell us some success stories about people who have shown at the festival, actors, actresses, as well as film producers, and they ended up on Netflix or, Prime Video or what have you, Hulu. Can you tell us something?
That is a great question, and I really wish I knew, I could tell you right now those exact films. We actually have had a couple films that have screened at the festival, and then later on you see them on Vudu or Netflix. One that comes right to my mind, it used to be called, it's the documentary about the young girl. I bet you've all seen it. It was on Netflix, and it's about the young girl that lived with a family, and their neighbor was sexually abusing her for years and years and years. They changed the name. I think they called it In Plain Sight, and it was, John, do you remember that, or Marianne? I think you guys would have scored. Yeah, and anyway, it was amazing, and it got huge reviews and people talking about, in fact, they're doing a sequel to it. Well, that film actually won the year before it hit Netflix. It won with us Best Documentary. So we have had that. We've had a couple actors that were in films, and we maybe had some talent agencies, talent reps that were here that connected with those actors later and signed them on, like at United Talent Agencies, a huge talent agency, signed somebody on for that. So we have had success
I'll bet you
And
have
we're
more
very
than you
lucky.
know about.
Yeah, we do, and we try to keep on top of it, but it is very difficult.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just so
but
much-
most of the time they'll call and say, "Hey, I got picked up," or we're now showing on Vudu, and if you're, if any of your Facebook people go to our Facebook and like it, because then we usually promote all those films that are doing that.
As it turns out, my wife and I have seen all the movies on Netflix.
Probably.
From our bedroom.
Yeah.
And they were, it's people are really digging it. And
Yep.
I like foreign movies,
Yeah.
myself. I enjoy
Yep.
watching movies from India and China. Thanks. And but this, you're right, this is the greenhouse,
Yep.
so to speak, for future entertainment.
Yeah, it is. They do a lot of film festivals. They're so important because it is the bouncing board, the diving board for a filmmaker. So you're
Love that.
exactly right.
I love that metaphor. Yeah.
Yep, and and we are one of them.
Question right here.
Well, Gary, first of all, if you want to remove your mask, because I thought you said you liked porn movies.
I said foreign. Do please check the closed captioning.
I'm so glad you clarified that.
Yeah.
However,
Because we don't accept porn.
I have a two-part question.
Okay.
Would you elaborate just a little about the submission fee and how that varies from, I guess, from site to site? And then also, gosh, Gary, the way you answered caused me to forget my next, the next question was, and just a little bit about the panel that you pulled together to determine the winners of your festival.
Sure. So submission fees being when filmmakers submit to the festival, they do pay a submission fee. Our submission fees are probably about maybe 15% of our actual annual budget, but they pay a submission fee. We are probably a little less than Sundance, do that on purpose so they don't try to not submit to us because we don't want to be more than Sundance. And so they submit, when they submit, we get probably anywhere, we're up to about 800 submissions a year approximately. And then from that, I watch all the films. So now let me clarify. Shorts, I watch all the way just to get a good feel. Features and docs, I watch about the first 30 minutes because then I get a feel, is it good enough to go on to the teams? And that's how I then remember what was submitted. So then later on, when I have to finish and finalize the programming, I remember every film and I'll remember, oh yeah, that should have made it or that shouldn't be in. So, and then I remember that filmmaker. So I do personally watch them and I personally email all the filmmakers, hey, we got it. That is probably one of the biggest compliments we get is our communication. And it's so important. And then from there, it goes to a team. So we have 5 teams that have about 15 to 20 people on them. And each team gets, Ann Benda separates out who's getting what film. And those teams watch, they have to have 10 people per film. And they score them. And then after that, then those scores narrow down depending where you're at. And it goes to the round 3. So if you make it that far, by round 3, we're down to about half of what we start off with. And then the same process, and then I get down to final 200, and then I pick from there. So, and usually on a normal festival, we would only have about 100 to 120 features, docs, and shorts. But with this year, it's a little different. So, did I answer? Okay, good. So it's a big process.
Any other questions? I'm surprised Mr. Show Business hasn't got one.
Well, I have a question.
Yes.
If you are not familiar or have gone to a film festival and you feel slightly overwhelmed because you just said there's so many, you don't know where to start, and sometimes you go, I'm not going, I don't know what to do. There is an opening night reception that at Five Flag Center that has all the films listed, some screenings, some of the producers will be there, answer any questions. So you can kind of get a little playlist of what you want to see and kind of what the movies are about. So you're not going in completely blind, and that's free to the public. Free to the public, and so I think that really helps with, and we've had a lot of local support. It's just tremendous on how many locals really come to the film festival. And if you're there during Canada night, then you're partying all night long with the Canadians. So if you never party with Canadians, at Julian they have a whole suite when you party with Canadians all night long. You won't go to the movies first thing in high school.
Good to know.
Yeah, hence why we schedule them a little bit later on that day. No, and HR is correct. That is a great evening that we play some trailers. You can also go to our website. Once we release the films, you can watch trailers. And like I said, this year is going to be a little more, so take your time and look through, find what you like the best. Usually on our website, you'll get the synopsis and a lot of, like I said, we probably have about 100 screeners that are watching films. You may probably know a lot of them. Like I said, there are some right here. Ask them, hey, what's your favorite? I don't release favorites online or in person because I don't want any filmmaker to think I'm, favoring something. But on our own, we might say, well, here's my top, 10, or here's something. So ask them too.
Interesting. Any other questions?
How do you become a screener?
Let me know and I'll hand you to Sharon Cutler, who handles my teams. And would you like to be a screener?
Potentially.
Okay. If you have my email, or I can give you my email, just email me and let me know, and then I'll forward you to Sharon Cutler, and she kind of handles just divvying up where everybody goes to be a screener. And don't be afraid of it, even though you probably will watch about anywhere between 100 to 150 films from like October to January. And mind you, they may be shorts as well. You as a screener have to watch the entire film, even though I've got a lot more I'm looking at than what you are. You can, you can do it on your own time. So if you can't get to something, you've got other members on your team that will get to films that you've missed or something. So don't let that number scare you.
Great. Awesome.
Is that it? Oh,
Wait, we have a question.
Well, HR made a comment earlier about his event with the Tiger King, and it didn't get much of a reaction here because I don't think anybody knows who Tiger King is. I'm about to make ask a Sheldon Cooper question. Does anybody here know who Sheldon Cooper is?
Yes.
Regarding the movie you made for one of the film festivals, Million Spokes.
Yes.
I'm just curious, how many spokes on the average bike and how many bikes in the average rag?
That's a great question. If you're asking my mom, she constantly says 1,000 spokes, and I keep telling her it's 1,000,000 spokes. I have no idea. I was the producer that rode in the trailer and let everybody else ride the actual ride.
It just looked like 1,000,000.
Yeah, it did. It was just an idea. A great question. Sheldon, yes. That's such a great one.
Knock, 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 Susan.
Yeah. Yes.
Any other questions, concerns?
Love that.
You guys look terrific.
Great talk.
Well, great. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
They're applauding from home.
All right, well, the video must have worked well enough. So we'll debrief with Ellen and Danita on the video quality, and if it works, we'll perfect a few things and maybe make this a weekly thing for people who are from home wanting to participate. So we're adjourned. Have a great week.
Well, this is how we did it, simulcast and video shoot of the Rotary Club game. I have my monopod and 2 cameras. This one's recording video, that's my phone. This is Tim Breitfelder's phone, the president of Rotary, and this is recording everything for the meeting, for the feed to Zoom. And aside from a few glitches with the audio, it was a success, I'd say.